Some of the following audio used in this video was edited to have no lyrics for ambience and were renamed for the construction of a fanfiction. The following tunes are actually performed by Guns N' Roses, Black Sabbath, Aerosmith, Ozzy Osbourne, and Warrant. Original albums are owned under the label of Geffen, Vertigo, Epic, CBS of the United States, and Columbia Records. Please support the official release.
Hey, wait, isn't this Derpy's job? Oh well. Chapter 2, Meeting Celestia. Can someone get some muffins? We might need a lot of them for her to come back.
Rush was so locked into his work that he didn't notice the door to his room had opened. Thrash stood at the doorway, watching him work in peace. He knew Rush did not like to be disturbed when he's working, but how can he resist the opportunity?
Hey, Rush,
he said.
What is it now, Thrash?
Rush responded with an uncaring tone.
Are we there yet?
No.
Rush could hear Whiplash and Snap giggling in the background.
How about now?
No.
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 Now?
Get out of my room!
Rush walked over and shut his door on Thrash's face, and locked it so he could finish working with no more disruptions. He had been trying to plan for the concert and balancing the funds for the band all day. He would have been done by now, if it wasn't for Thrash and the band constantly messing around with him like usual. Outside his door, on the other hoof,
Okay, Snap, commence the beats.
Thrash said, giggling with Whiplash behind him. Snap walked forward with his drumsticks and hooves and started rapidly tapping on Rush's door. His voice could be heard through the door.
I swear to Celestia, I'm gonna take those drumsticks and use them on your faces!
Stop pretending that you know how to actually drum as well as me, you drongo! Snap responded in his trot stallion accent. Whiplash and Thrash fell on the floor laughing so hard their eyes started tearing.
He's even terrible at threats.
Quick, Snap, tap faster.
Commanded Thrash. Snap laughed as he went faster with his drumsticks on Rush's door. The three ponies laughed, but abruptly stopped when they heard the tumblers of the doorknob rattle. They all dashed down the hallway towards another room and locked the door behind them. Rush ran out of his room and started banging on the door they were behind.
Open this door so I can pop you all in the face!
The door opened, and Shredder stood at the doorway. His mane was messy as usual, and he had on his reflector sunglasses that Rush could see himself in. He removed them and revealed his blue eyes.
Rush, can I help you with something?
He said,
Let me in that room, Shredder,
Why?
so I can give those three ponies what for.
Rush, you're disturbing me during the time I practice, and there's no other ponies in here besides me.
Let me check.
Allow me. Who were you looking for?
Snap, Thrash, and Whiplash. Who else?
All right.
Shredder turned around towards his room.
Snap, Thrash, Whiplash? Yes? Are you in my room?
Nope, I'm not in here.
Been long if I said yes, mate.
Shredder turned back to Rush.
Well, there you go. Now go away.
But
Shredder shut the door in Rush's face.
I hate you so much, I'm gonna... Ah!
He waited until he heard the sound of his bedroom door slam. Shredder walked towards the sofa opposite from his bed, where he picked up the guitar and played a quick riff on it. The closet next to the beds opened, where the three ponies fell on top of each other laughing like crazy. Their prank was successful.
Okay, what should we do to him next?
Asked Thrash.
You three aren't doing anything. Whiplash, Snap, let me talk to Thrash alone. I would go get ready. We'll be there soon.
Shredder shouted, walking to a coffee maker by his mirror. He started boiling water. The two ponies left the room, shutting the door behind them. Thrash fell on his bed that was next to Shredder's.
You boiling the good stuff?
He asked his roommate.
Of course I am.
Shredder responded, while pulling out a bag of hot chocolate mix.
Hey, just asking. You're my best friend, Thrash, and I respect you very much. But you realize Princess Celestia is a very important mare, right? Yeah, I know. Raises the sun, goddess, something, another thing, objects of harmony. Listen, we can't just make fools of ourselves. This mare is kindly funding our tour, And despite you being the youngest, you need to stop acting like an out-of-control cult you are on and off stage. Would it annoy Rush if I did act like an out-of-control cult? Not just Rush, the whole band. I'm going to pretend you said yes to that and respond with the following. I don't take requests.
Thrash laughed as he put some headphones on and turned on some loud rock music. Shredder could hear the song and recognized it as Iron Colt by Black Saddle. Thrash sang the song out loud in his beautiful voice. Shredder set a glass of hot chocolate next to Thrash on a nightstand and picked up his guitar. He started playing the same song Thrash was singing. Eventually, Thrash sat up on the side of the bed and took off the headphones and started singing the lyrics to the song being played by Shredder. Thrash fell back onto the bed, laughing and taking a drink of hot chocolate. Shredder sat back on the couch and did the same.
Look, bro, I understand how much this means to the band. To me, this is like eating dinner. You eat with the family, you can be as mannerless as you want. But when out on a fancy dinner with a bunch of strangers, you act like a king. Philadelphia was never kind to you, was it? That's the city of brotherly love, my friend. It was never kind to any pony. Hear, hear.
The two ponies clanged their cups against one another, and they drank more. Rush finally finished his work. He picked up his bass guitar and sat on his bed. He started strumming notes as he looked out the window, smiling. Suddenly, something caught his eye.
Oh no.
He said to himself. He jumped off his bed and ran to the hallway.
Every pony, we have a problem.
All the members of the band poked their heads out the doors of their rooms.
Rush, this better be good.
Said Slide.
You're disturbing me during my meditation.
Slide often did meditation to relax his mind. He claims that it helps him focus on his piano playing, to give the audience a real show.
It's not good. It's terrible. Some pony put up posters for our concert.
All the ponies looked at each other.
That's not a bad thing.
It is terrible. Now we're gonna have a mob of fans waiting at the palace that will distract us from our schedule.
Oh, that reminds me. We there yet?
Said Thrash. The whole band giggled.
Laugh all you want. I am not gonna be behind schedule.
The carriage came to a halt instantly.
Canterlot Castle!
Shouted one of the three drivers pulling the cart. Rush just shrugged and looked out the window. Thrash did the same from his room. He then gave a huge smile at the large crowd of fans surrounding the sides of a red carpet path into the castle. Armored members of the Canterlot Royal Guard were lined up in front of the fans to hold them back when they exited.
Yes, we got a welcome wagon!
He said excitedly.
How much?
Asked Snap from his room.
Enough to fill this whole carriage to capacity. Shredder, do you have a spare marker on you? I lost mine.
Shredder finished packing his guitar case and tossed a black marker to Thrash. They proceeded to the door. Rush was worried stiff looking out the window.
Come on, Rush, so we get a little behind schedule. These ponies came to welcome us.
Whiplash said, giving Rush a nudge with her hoof. A smaller group of unicorns came from the lower deck of the carriage to collect the instruments the band had packed for their tour. Using their magic, they lifted them to a dolly and wheeled them to the stage through the back. The door to the carriage opened up, and the sound of squealing fans was heard. Thrash and the band slipped on some sunshades over their eyes. "Show, Tom!" Snap said. They started to proceed out. The screaming fans became louder after they exited the carriage. The guards had a hard time holding the fans back, but they were still able to manage. They proceeded down the walkway behind an officer of the Royal Guard. Along the way, they gave autographs and got a few pictures from fans and members of the press. Finally, they made it inside the palace. They were led to the grand staircase.
"The princess will be with you in a moment,"
said the officer as he left the room. Every pony, except Shredder, removed their glasses and looked around at the glorious decor of the room and stained glass windows.
Fancy,
said an impressed Thrash.
Now remember to be respectful. Bow down to the princess
we
when she
know
comes
what to
in.
do, Rush,
said Shredder.
Honestly, can't you go 5 minutes without acting like our mother?
Rush grunted to himself. It wasn't the first time that he was called that. All he wanted to do was make sure things turn out well, with absolutely no flaws. Princess Celestia entered the room from atop the stairs. The whole band kneeled before her and rose. Rush trotted forward.
Dear Princess Celestia, as manager of the band, I would like to say that it is an absolute...
Princess,
Hey!
as a former resident of Canterlot, let me say it's an honor to perform for you and the citizens of Canterlot.
Whiplash said gracefully. Celestia smiled at the vanilla-colored unicorn mare.
Well, it's an honor to have you come and perform here.
She said kindly.
Has the city not changed since you were last here?
Not one bit. It feels good to be home.
Whiplash said as she jumped in place with excitement.
Oh, please excuse me. I haven't introduced myself from the rest of the band. I go by the name Whiplash. I'm the oldest of the band and the rhythm guitarist. That is our fancy keyboardist from Vancouver, Slide.
The pleasure is all mine, madame.
Slide said, kneeling before the goddess.
Our gut-busting drummer from Trotstralia, Snap.
She continued. G'day, fair goddess Celestia, Snap said.
The second oldest and most respected lead guitarist, Shredder.
You'll find out why soon enough.
Shredder said with a smile as he fixed his sunglasses.
And our youngest member and agile vocalist,
Hey!
Thrash.
She said, skipping Rush in the line.
I'm also the comical one.
Thrash said, as he smiled with a squee.
He tells no lies.
Every pony but Rush chuckled.
What about me?
That's Rush. He plays bass and manages the band.
Whiplash said, interrupting Rush again. Celestia smiled as she spoke.
Well, I'm happy to meet you all. I've heard your music and I'm really looking forward to seeing you perform.
What time's the show? Asked Snap.
8:30 at night tonight.
Said Rush and Celestia together.